Going live! It's the going live dance. Hey.
My hair is all of the colors.
My hair is all of the
shapes.
Sure, shapes is a thing. Before we get to the Stargate.
Yes.
For those of you who watch this in a timely manner, in which the day that we put them out, we learned some non-Stargate very important information.
Nixie, you have
this
the floor.
Weekend. Patrick Stewart's coming back! And not just Patrick Stewart's coming back. Let me rephrase this. Jean-Luc Picard is coming back.
So, what is the actual thing?
Don't care.
Like, well, what was actually said?
Basically, and I don't know the full details, because I haven't gotten to deep dive into it as much as I want. And to be honest, I don't know how much information's out there.
Yeah. But like, what
Patrick Stewart announced at the Las Vegas Star Trek convention that he is coming back as Jean-Luc Picard.
Wow.
He thought he was done playing Jean-Luc Picard.
But he did not say in which shape or form.
It's a series on CBS All Access.
Oh, a different new series.
It's a new series on CBS All Access. Again, I really wish they'd put this shit on CBS.
He's going to play a young Picard.
To be fair, he can still he could play season 1 Picard still. No, I really hope it's like I'm fine if he was a teacher at the Academy.
Yeah.
I know they want to do an Academy series for a long time, Starfleet Academy. Listen, anything that has any possibilities of cameos by any Star Trek actor.
A lot of flashbacks, and then they just use the old episodes.
Don't care. Here's the thing with Star Trek, and people may not agree with me, but this is my wholehearted feeling about Star Trek, is that I have feelings about Discovery, but Star Trek is not something I want the wheel reinvented on. I just want Star Trek. If you bring me a new series where you just bring back, like, Picard and then Worf shows up and then, like, Janeway, like, I don't care.
Well, I want it to be like, Professor, tell us about the time that, I don't know, that Riker made weird eyes at some...
Have Riker come back. Have Crusher come back, have Data come back.
Yes, and then he goes into like dream sequence, and then they just play the episodes.
I don't want the wheel reinvented. I just want winks at the camera and the characters to come back. I don't care.
It's like How I Met Your Mother.
Yes,
but
it's one of those things where I realize that I'm one of those people that keeps saying that they shouldn't bring back new shows.
Right.
Listen, if they bring back Elf, they shouldn't. I'd secretly watch it, but they shouldn't bring Elf back.
Well, there's a difference between bringing back new shows and bringing and reviving worlds.
Yes.
Some places have a big enough world that you can do that to, and some places do not.
I just want more Star Trek.
I think it's fair to say that Trek is a universe that has a lot.
And Discovery did not feed what I wanted from Trek. But anything with Picard. Mm-mm. Anyways, so that's the dream we had yesterday come true. Captain Picard. Okay. Anything else this week, or should we get on into the Orpheus, the Teal'c Daniel remembrance?
Yes.
I don't know. That K was trying to come out as a coherent sentence and it didn't work.
Let's take it back.
We're going to start the episode now.
To the time when Grace has a drink.
Guys,
we did not. I had a lot to drink and a cigar last night.
This isn't even spiked today.
I'm hungover.
Well, we had like a week-long family visit.
Yeah.
So it was like a week-long...
It's a rough week at work.
I've been up for a while now at this point.
Disclosure, I'm hungover. Okay, let's do this.
You know, hearing the dog on there?
Yeah,
okay, we're going to start. Alrighty, what episode are we on?
136.
Just leave that in.
Yep.
Welcome to episode 136 of There's No Place Like Terra, a Stargate First Watch Rewatch podcast. I am Nixie.
And I'm Grace, and today we're going into Season 7, Episode 4, Orpheus, a.k.a. Being Humanish, or...
How Teal'c got his groove back.
I think yours is pretty dead on.
Yeah.
Mine is a little more of a deep read.
It is a deep read. But it's how Stella got her groove back.
It's yeah. So lately I've been craving. A few years back, I took a class, a literature class, where you basically just focus on deep reading or close reading things, where you go through passages, you go through you can go through a passage of something and like pull out 7,000 meanings that may or may not be there, but you have to find a way to like say this is why.
Yeah.
And so I've been kind of craving that idea.
Okay, good, because that sounds like the worst class I could possibly take.
Let me tell you that I did a 20-page essay on a close read of Uncharted 3.
No wonder you enjoyed doing this podcast.
Deception. So this one's got a really good... there's this coming to terms with being human-ish.
Yeah.
Not only for Teal'c, but also for Daniel. But
yeah.
we'll get into it.
They made strong connections between the two.
Well, it's fun because they come at it from such different situations that it's not toward the middle where I was like, oh, I get it.
Oh, they're doing a thing.
Oh, they're the same.
So this first aired on June 27th, 2003. It was written and directed by Peter DeLuise, but we have a different director as the cameo in this episode, which we'll get to.
Dun, dun.
So we're just going to get this right off the bat. Orpheus is a dude.
Yes.
Mythology.
Now, was I wrong about music?
You are not wrong about music. He was a poet and
Yes.
musician. It's where the term Orpheum, like the Orpheum Theater, comes from. Yeah. In ancient Greek mythology, he could charm all living things and not living things with his music. And he's kind of most well known for heading into the underworld to save his wife.
Persephone.
No. Eurydice.
Sorry.
Eurydice.
Euripides.
Eurydice.
Yeah.
Eurydice.
Wrong one. Yeah.
Persephone's a different story.
Yes.
She ends up staying down there.
Right. She's the one who they turned around when she wasn't supposed to. Let's keep moving.
Confusing again.
Yeah.
So he's basically the best bard. He's the best bard he's a level 20 bard. Okay. His music went over Hades even.
That's awesome.
If you are he is what you dream your bard of being.
He's the one who should fiddle against the devil.
He literally fiddled against the devil in one. So another poet, Pindar, actually.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm good.
Okay. Another poet, Pindar, called him the father of songs. He said he was the son of a Thracian king. I'm not going to pronounce that.
I want to try.
Oregirgus.
Oh, that's 3 vowels together.
I know.
Oeagris?
Right, sure. Oeagris.
Oeagris.
And I do know that he is Calliope. And Calliope, if you didn't know, is like the bomb.com of all muses.
Yes.
She's like the peak museness.
Yeah.
Also, according to legend, he was given a golden lyre from Apollo. Of course. And that's who taught him to play. And
no wonder he's so good.
And his mom, the head muse, is the one that taught him how to sing. So he is like serious.
So basically, he's born into it.
He's born into bardness.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so he even traveled around with Jason and the Argonauts for a bit. He actually helped them pass the sirens because he played and sang louder than the sirens, so that the Argonauts didn't hear
it's like
sirens.
when you drive up next to someone playing shitty music and you just turn yours up louder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But his big story of saving his wife is like the one he's mostly known for. Okay. So what is it? Eurydice? Eurydice.
Now I don't remember how to say it.
Anyway, she was kidnapped at their wedding by a satyr. And while she was trying to escape, she was bitten by a snake in like the foot and died. Good story, guys. So when Orpheus found her dead, his music was so sad that everyone, including all the gods, died.
That's not okay.
That's not okay.
I'm looking up how to pronounce Eurydice. Now I don't remember.
I
want to say it's Eurydice.
That sounds right. So he went down to the underworld and he convinced Hades and Persephone with his music. And they're like, yeah, clearly you love her. Your music's real good.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and take her with one condition. That when you leave, you can't look back.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
You can't look back.
I mixed them all together.
You have to walk in front of her, and you can't look back until you're both in the upper world.
Right.
So he broke through the upper world, and he blinked and thought that she was closer than he was, and didn't think about it and looked back, and she wasn't in the upper world, and he lost her forever.
No!
Yeah.
Damn it.
So,
that's why communication is key, people. It's where you're
exactly.
like, hey, dude, are you still back there? She's like, yeah, hang on, though. I'm still not. I haven't crossed into the upper world.
Yeah.
So just chill out for a second. Don't turn around. Just keep talking to me.
Yeah, just talk.
I'm almost there.
Almost there.
God.
Yeah. So there's 2 stories of how he died. Well, 3 stories. One of them's just like Zeus just hit him with a lightning bolt, but that's boring. Apparently, according to Wiki at least. So both include women tearing him apart. The first was because later in his life he would only worship Apollo because Apollo taught him blah blah blah. Music. And so he'd go at dawn.
Gratitude, blah, blah,
exactly. Blah. Apollo's the god of the sun, so he'd go at dawn. But where he went one time was at the Oracle of Dionysus.
Okay.
And the Meonids were not happy that he would honor somebody else, and not Dionysus.
Right.
So they tore him apart.
Yeah, because that's how that works.
Tore him apart.
Don't mess with other gods in the place of Yeah.
So the other story to quote, he, quote, abstained from the love of women. And because the thing after his wife thing went kind of bad.
Sure.
So he was like,
kind of turn you off to sex a little bit.
I'm kind of done with women, but he wasn't done with men.
Sure.
And to quote again, to enjoy their brief springtime and early flowering this side of manhood. So,
oh boy.
Listen, it was common in ancient Greek.
Yeah.
It was a thing. It was a mentor.
Let's not deep read that.
No.
Let's just keep moving forward.
Let's just keep going. Let's not look into the different time.
Yeah.
So, again, the women followers of Dionysus were pissed that he would spurn them because he sworn off women. So they threw sticks and stones at him.
Uh-huh.
But the sticks and stones liked his music so much they refused to hit him.
Sure.
So because they couldn't beat him with sticks and stones, they just tore him apart.
Sure.
Just ravaged.
Fuck it. Yeah.
In like Bacchic orgy style, ripped him apart.
What a great way to go.
Listen, there's worse ways to go. So his head.
What a misogynistic tale that is.
Yes.
Let's move forward.
So his head and his lyre floated away, still singing and playing.
Sure.
His head landed on the shores of Lesbos, where they buried his head and built a shrine to him.
And they didn't put him in a case and then put him on Futurama instead?
Well, pretty much.
Yeah.
And his lyre was taken by the muses to the stars.
Oh, okay.
So it's the constellation Lyra.
Oh, yeah.
Is Orpheus's lyre.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
No one else can play it. It's just him.
So there's your meaning of the episode.
That's quite an adventure.
It is.
Yowza. So I was right, it's about music.
It is about music. However, this episode is not about music.
No, I'm trying to figure out how it works in here, but
I mean,
okay. We're not going to think about
it. The way that I read into it is the story of Orpheus going into the underworld, of Teal'c going into the hell pit in order to in this case, to get his son and his mentor instead of his wife.
That's fair. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Dig it.
However, he did not lose either of them forever. So that's a good thing.
Well, because he didn't look back. He went right through that Stargate.
He did not look back. So he kept both of them.
Yeah.
So we start with like gate, alarm, airmen.
So much action.
It's
a Michael Bay movie up in here.
We're just missing some lens flares. Like the gate tiles in.
Some bad tight shots.
And it's SG-1's IDC. And Jack radio's in. It's close quarters withdrawal. It's going to get ugly. Hammond raised the guards, safety's off, keep aware, no friendly fire. And with Jack's word, they open the iris and immediately weapon fire starts coming through. Most of SG-1 comes through. Teal'c comes through last. And when Jaffa follows him through, and as he's on the other side of the gate, he fires. He fires right before he's taken out.
Right.
Real quickly. And we have Teal'c standing there very dramatically with smoke wafting up.
Yeah, it's bad when there's smoke coming out of your body.
And then he slow falls backwards.
Yeah. That's a great dead drop.
It is. Yeah. It is. And he has a staff blast wound right where Junior used to be. And Janet is already quickly all over him trying
it's like that poor area of his body is like, can you stop? Like, why does everything come here? Yikes. We
Yeah.
are this soft and squishy shoulder. Can you take some of this action?
We're literally soft. No matter what area we are, we're the soft and
this
squishy
is
parts.
the softest and squishiest part. Dude, turn around. Take one in the butt. Something.
Turn around.
Butt. Shut up. I don't know. I'm done.
And credits.
I want to say something here.
Yes.
That is because it's not going to make sense anywhere else, but I feel that I need to share it.
Yeah.
So as we get into this episode and it goes into credits, I watched this on Hulu where I have commercials because I'm cheap and won't pay the extra.
That's fine.
$2.
We totally get it. Don't worry.
And they had a puppy commercial and I got sad. Because you know why? Because if I'm watching Stargate and there are puppies,
think of
I
Jonas.
think of a Jonas. And I got real sad. And it was like a pet armor commercial. So getting you pet armor. That's all. Doesn't pertain to anything at all, but it was nobody else would understand. I love you guys.
Boyfriend Jesse, it's a puppy.
It's a puppy.
But it's a Jonas.
I should name a puppy Jonas.
Oh, don't name a puppy Jonas.
Why not?
Because you're just gonna get sad that there's not Jonas on screen whenever you see the puppy.
But what if I love the puppy?
Okay, you can't. I mean, you're gonna love the puppy.
Well, yeah.
But then you're gonna be sad if you don't see Jonas on screen every week.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna name a puppy Jonas.
Maybe middle name can be Jonas.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that works.
I will name it Daniel Joseph Jonas. No.
I was literally about to say, just name him Daniel Jonas.
Yeah, Daniel Jonas.
Danny Jonas.
Danny Joe.
Danny Joe!
I'm done, guys. I'm sorry.
So,
I'm not human.
when we come back, if anyone was actually worried that Teal'c was going to die,
yeah.
listen, if they're going to kill a Teal'c off, this is not how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
Is this where I take a drink? Did I? No, I'm not.
No.
So when we come
They're
back.
never killing Teal'c. And while you're taking your drink,
I almost spit water out over my computer.
It will never kill Teal'c.
By sheer willpower.
Yeah, Teal'c will live to be 700 years old.
When 900-year-olds you get. I just butchered that. When 900-year-olds you get.
Exactly.
I was trying to
go hang out with Yoda.
I was trying to say that quote so quickly that like my mouth got ahead of what I was trying to say in that
It's like
quote.
when you're running on a treadmill, but you set the setting a little bit too slow, and the thing just jogs behind you. Yeah, super sick Teal'c, but he looks so perfectly.
He does.
Like modeled out of
I
clay,
know.
and where I'm like, is there makeup on his boobs? Like he's not even like a bad shiny or anything.
Yeah, it's like I don't look that good on my best days, let alone the days
Like,
where I almost died.
My face doesn't look as good as his like arm skin.
I
did.
know.
Jeebus. Okay. Done.
So we can all breathe. Teal'c's okay. The irony is the staff blast hit right where Junior used to live, and if Junior was still there, Teal'c would be dead.
Yeah.
Being on Tritonin is what saved him.
Oh boy. Yeah.
But the blast also did hit his spine. So Junior would have fixed all that damage on its own, but now Teal'c's going to have to work for it.
Mm-hmm.
But at least the Jaffa that got you was killed.
Yeah. And so here's the thing is Teal'c's always been really strong, and Teal'c's always been this warrior, but he's always had a Junior. It's a different life now that you're a soft and squishy human.
It is, and he's never had to fight to recover.
Right.
He's never had to fight in that way before.
Yeah.
So, in Hammond's office, Sam and Daniel update Hammond on what happened, how they duped the Jaffa that were there and escaped. The Jaffa had tattoos of a bunch of different system lords, mostly Thal, since he's expanded his reach. And now there's some united alliance of system lords, which, fun fact, we created.
Yeah. Hey, let's not go over this too in depth because this is mostly our fault.
Mostly on
Pretty
us.
much completely our fault.
Pretty much basically, yes.
But let's not talk about that. But we are the U.S. military, so what can you expect?
Exactly. So let's just leave that be.
Yep.
Which is when Janet comes in and she updates them on how long the road is for Teal'c. And it's mostly aggravated because this is, like we said, this is the first time Teal'c's had to recover on his own.
Right.
And Junior used to bounce him back quickly, and he's going to get super frustrated.
Yeah. It's work being human.
Yeah.
It's work when you're used to being essentially a superhero
Uh-huh.
and having these powers. And it's also what's defined you, and you don't have that anymore.
Nope.
Wowza.
So Daniel tries to make some small talk with Teal'c, like, besides the how are you feeling? And we get it indeed. The first of two.
Yeah.
And apparently Ryak is with Braytak leading the Rebel Jaffa, and not hearing from them for a long time is basically part of the game.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Also, there's a cute gag with green Jello.
Okay, so here's my question to you about the Jello.
Yeah.
Because it is Jack brought him Jello to make him feel better. Who do you think actually ate the Jello?
Oh, it was completely Jack.
Yeah.
Teal'c ate none of that Jello.
Because he was like not eating it, so he's like, well, it's in here. I'm just going to eat it anyway.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Teal'c didn't eat any of that Jello.
And it is a lot of Jello.
And Jack just left that last one for Teal'c. He's never going to eat it.
No, he's going to come back in like another 20 minutes, and if it's still there, he's going to eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
Once Daniel leaves.
But we get to the crux of Teal'c's beef, if you will. He blames himself. He feels like he fell behind, when the truth is, Daniel points out, that he was covering the rest of his team.
Sure.
But Teal'c looks like, no, bro, just leave me alone. Like, let me wallow.
Yeah.
And as Daniel leaves, we hear a voice calling out to him. Who what was your guess of what this was the first time you heard it?
Well, I mean, I could tell who it was. I could tell it was like Braytak and Ryak, right?
It was. See, and I'll be honest, even knowing who this is, when I listen to it, it sounds a lot like Skara the first time you hear it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And especially because the first person you relate Daniel to is Skara.
Yeah.
No, I knew it was them. I just didn't understand why.
Gotcha.
Like, I had no... And so in my brain, what I did was I went back in time and I was like, wait a minute. Did we never... How confused I was. It was definitely a confusing situation. And then I went, wait... Is Ryak like I was? Yeah. That's the rabbit hole I went down.
So we see a new room at the SGC, the gym.
Yeah.
Teal'c is getting his PT, and Sam and Daniel are working out.
I would have never imagined that they all work out together. I feel like they have very different. Maybe Daniel and Sam.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
I guess that's true. I guess it's true. Like, Jack does not work out with them.
Jack doesn't work. I can't picture Jack working out that much.
But, well. I don't think that Jack doesn't work out, but I don't think he enjoys it, but he is a trained military professional, so he's like, get up, get it done, get it out of the way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can see that.
And so he's not hanging out at the gym. He's not having fun and drinking like sports water or whatever. You know, like he's like, I gotta get this shit done.
And I see Daniel, I have a hunch that Sam and Daniel, I can see working out because I can almost see Sam was sort of Daniel's trainer or the person at least who like got him to enjoy going. Because Sam, what I can imagine, is the person who gets up at 6 a.m. and goes to the gym and is like and she has a set thing and she's always done it. Yeah. And Daniel clearly did that when we started the series.
What I do see Daniel, because he's so open-minded and so spiritual based, like he may introduce her to like some Tai Chi.
Yes.
Or some other type of a meditative yoga or something of that sort. Yeah. And so he may build strength in a different way than she does.
Well, he's clearly been building some strength over the years.
I mean.
Well, let's just say there's an episode coming up where you see that a little more.
I'm okay with that. Because he's even so like he's built, but he's not swole the way Teal'c is,
he's
or
not.
even the way Jonas was.
Exactly.
Like Jonas is built.
Yeah.
That Corin Evans knows what he's doing.
But no, I think it's adorable that Sam and Daniel work out. And it's one of those things where it's something I've always wished that I wish I had a place, because I'm sure they just get to work early and then go work out in the gym. Or to be fair, also because of their job, they basically get paid to go to the gym. Right. Yeah. That would be awesome. I would be that fit.
I know that I would not. I'm terrible at it. I have a gym in my garage, and it is just gathering dust. And I want to be disciplined, and I want to have the time. But you're right. If it's part of my job, I will make time for it.
Exactly.
Because now it's like, well, my time is in the morning, but I'd rather go walk my dog and do that. It's time to go take a shower.
But Sam is going on about how dumb a specific movie is. Okay, how dumb science is.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, water is I was Sam. You came to a planet that's 2/3 water, and your one kryptonite is water.
Yeah, why would you do that
What
to
the
yourself?
fuck?
What the heck?
But Daniel is distracted. Like he forgot something very important. And he's to the point where he's recovered basically everything from before he died.
That is a maddening feeling, though. Even
It
if you're
is.
not a former ascended.
I'm the one who walks upstairs and be like,
why am I here?
what the fuck did I come upstairs for?
Yeah, yeah.
But he can't remember a single thing from when he was ascended.
Right.
And there's something very specific from them that's nagging him right now.
I can't imagine that feeling.
Especially when you find out what it is.
Yep.
So, and that's when Teal'c starts pushing his PT a bit too far.
Yeah, dude. No. Stop. That little brace doesn't seem like it's going to hold in his guts, by the way.
No.
It's like it's a really nice brace on the bag, but in the front, it's kind of just this piece of canvas.
And we don't know, it's hard because there is some time for him to recover.
Yeah.
But still, if there was some sort of actual wound to his spine and it's been 3 months, because it says later on it's 3 months, and Daniel was ascended less than 3 months ago, I can imagine it was a bad wound, and obviously he's down for the count, and there may have been some bruising on the spine, but I don't know if his guts were spilling out situation.
That's true. I mean, there was a pretty big hole there.
There was a pretty big hole. I don't know if his guts were
That's true. It could just be my
the whole thing up.
squeamishness.
Yeah.
Playing through.
He's Teal'c, but he's not healing like a Teal'c used to been.
Yeah.
He probably still heals better than to happen to anyone else on the team.
He's still an incredibly healthy specimen
exactly.
of a man.
But yeah.
But it is a little creepy. He's sitting there and he's pushing too hard, and he's going through this thing where he's just like, I don't know how to not just be healed.
Yeah.
I are healed now.
Yeah.
Frustrate me.
And then when he stumbles and Daniel tries to help him, he's like, leave me.
Yeah. Because he's frustrated. He's confused. Maybe confused is the wrong word, but he doesn't seem to know how to move through this. And then there's this embarrassment comes with not being what you thought you were anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, this is what I identified as, and if I'm not this, what the hell am I?
Exactly.
And Daniel's like, same, bro.
And then Daniel starts hearing voices again, and now Sam is concerned about half of her team.
She's like, oh great.
More.
This one's losing its mind.
So next, Sam and Daniel are in the control room as Sergeant Sylar and Major Wood walk by behind them. So
I missed it.
Yeah. Well, they're a little in shadow, but they definitely have a wide shot to show the two of them
and I know
by.
exactly the shot because I was sitting there watching it, but I was so intent on Sam and Daniel in that moment. I just missed it.
And so looking at tech and mission reports, and he doesn't of the gate, and he doesn't know what he's looking for, which is half the problem.
Mm-hmm.
But it's what's stuck in Daniel's craw right now is that he doesn't know whether or not he chose to come back, or if he could be doing more good if he was still ascended. And you can tell Sam was a bit hurt by that. Yeah.
And see, I was a little more focused on Daniel's own struggle with what the fuck am I doing here? Which is similar to Teal'c's.
Yes.
What am I now?
Yeah.
But I can understand why Sam would be offended, because Daniel's basically going, am I just human again? And she's like, bitch, that's what I am. So fuck you.
And it's also the fact of, I think Sam is annoyed here, but and hurt. But also Sam's like, I'll let you do your research. Because I think Sam in the end knows that sort of the bigger struggle that Daniel's. But also Sam's just like, so you don't want to be here with us and your team?
Yeah.
And
if she were any less developed as a human being, she'd be like, well, go fuck yourself then. Figure it out by yourself since you don't need me around.
Exactly.
If she were me,
she was
on a
less
bad day
involved. She was less. So
she's good at compartmentalizing.
She is. So back at the gym after some time, I'm assuming a couple weeks, if not maybe a month, depending on how fast the earlier episodes have gone, Teal'c has been cleared for active duty. As Janet said, he's lifted, pushed, and pulled more weight than anyone on the base has, alien technology notwithstanding. But Teal'c says he's not ready yet.
Just in case anybody wanted to bring up the episode where everybody eats 700 steaks.
Upgrades!
Just in case.
Just
That's
in
what that
case.
line is exactly for.
It
in my eyes.
is.
Yeah.
But Teal'c says he's not ready.
Mm.
He just kind of moves to a different machine, continues working out.
Yeah.
And Daniel is still looking with
He's
the
still
help
scared.
of
He
Walter.
wants to stay where it's safe.
It's comfortable here.
Yeah.
Jack's advice is to stop thinking and maybe it'll come to you.
Yeah.
Daniel's like, what the fuck?
That is the Jack way.
It
It's
is.
like, no, I'll figure it out.
Just do something else. It'll come to you.
Yeah.
Either way, it's time for a break. Since Janet said Teal'c needs a little pep talk, and Jack's been practicing in a mirror for an hour.
I do love this. I love the idea of, because they show up together of like, hey, dude, come with me because I don't want to do this by myself. Like, that was a secret conversation we didn't see.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Nixie, I really have to go do this thing, and I don't want to do it. Can you just come stand with me?
Just stand here.
Just come stand with me. It's like, okay, I got you. Yeah.
So they get there, and we can see Teal'c's wounds aren't 100% healed yet.
Yeah.
But Daniel's approach doesn't work.
No.
You'll feel better if you talk style.
No.
Which
Yeah.
is Teal'c.
Yeah.
That's
I
not
don't feel. I am Teal'c.
like that's not a thing that's gonna work.
Yeah.
Work on you, maybe.
You're
Yeah.
supposed to be helping me. Jack's like, stop talking. You're making it worse.
And so Jack's like, fine, I'm your commanding officer.
yeah, I'm just gonna tell you what you have to do.
That works.
Yeah.
Keck is the issue.
Uh-huh.
I mean, every Jaffa child knows that death and weakness are the same thing. There's only one word for both. Because
And-
if you're weak, you're dead.
Yeah, again, now we come to what is this, the third episode?
Yeah.
And the third best line ever by Teal'c. I swear, this
It's
whole season
great.
is going to be great lines by Teal'c. If one is weak, he may as well be dead.
Yeah.
It's very Che Guevara of him. It's very just badass. It's badass.
Is your D&D character just going to be quoting Teal'c for the
Basically.
entire rest of the campaign?
Basically,
Yeah.
that's my hope. But no, I mean, as harsh as it sounds,
It
there's
is.
something to it. There's a line that I like in a Green Day song, which I actually have tattooed on myself somewhere, that says, "It's not over till you're underground."
Yeah.
So just don't. You can't give up.
You can't give up.
You can't give up.
Never give up. Never surrender.
Exactly. But it is a great line. If one is weak, he may as well be dead.
Yeah.
Which is a tough thing to say, and it's hard to say that in certain spaces. And I get the luxury of being in a comfortable enough space with my mind to where I can say that without thinking of things like suicide.
Yeah.
It's not a line for everybody,
No.
but for me, it's kind of great.
It is, but you because it's being looked at the other way. It's
Yeah.
like if you're not dead, then
Then
you have strength
go
left to
kick some ass,
continue
yeah.
fighting. It's so there's the positive spin to it, and
Right.
there's the negative spin to
Right.
it, and it depends on your frame of mind.
Yeah.
Teal'c is not looking at it in the positive
No.
spin.
Teal'c is having trouble right now. And he's like, I might as well be
Yeah.
dead. Yeah.
Teal'c really hoped that Trutona would be the salvation and the liberation of the Jaffa, but he hasn't felt the same since he's been on it. He's been feeling weak. He hasn't said anything since it started because he's hoping his body would adjust. He was hoping this is a temporary thing, but no. And now Teal'c, on top of all that, just feels guilty for not telling Jack earlier.
Yeah.
Which Jack points out that Teal'c is still twice as strong as Jack will ever be, and has 2 good knees. So,
But I can understand where Teal'c's coming from. It's this sense of feeling beholden to something that's you don't have control over.
Exactly.
I think about these things when we think about like, what are you going to do in the zombie apocalypse? What are you going to do if you hit survival mode?
Yeah.
And I try not to think about those things too hard because, like, I think I'm pretty tough.
Yeah.
And I think I'm pretty out there. I'm pretty capable. But at the end of the day, if my meds aren't around, I'm the first to go. I'm the first to go. And there's this weird sense of grief that you almost have to come through. And I've had almost 30-something years to deal with it. How old am I? I've had 20-something years to deal with it. But it is, you have to go through this grieving process. And I imagine if you're Teal'c's age, which is far older than I was when I got sick, and you have to come to this idea that you are now dependent on something more than just yourself to stay strong.
Yes.
Shitty times.
But, however, if we're then in the zombie apocalypse and shit goes down, and we need someone to sacrifice them to make themselves a distraction in order to save the entire rest of the camp, you're going to go down like a fucking badass,
some shit up.
And you're going to say a Teal'c line as you go down. And then we'll make
if
songs
you are not
about
prepared
you.
to die, you should not be here.
We will sing songs about you. And then you will live forever.
I love it.
Anyway, so Teal'c does not feel fit for duty in all of this. And you know what? Jack can accept that. Jack, he can't understand being, 80 some years old and losing a junior, but we have seen this progression over the past couple of years. Jack is in his 50s.
Yeah.
Jack does have 2 bum knees. There is stuff when Jack goes out into the field that it's like some things the younger, stronger guys have to go do.
Yeah, he's getting a little winded out there.
And he doesn't want to admit that, but he gets a fraction of that just because his own body is he's as much as he's taking care of his body, he's also beating the shit out of his body.
I mean, the human body degrades.
Yes,
it's what it does. It's like all biological matter.
Yeah.
And also he knows what it's like to feel not fit for duty.
Yes.
I mean, let's remember that once upon a time he was gone.
Yeah.
He took off. He's like, my son died. I'm peacing out. I'm unfit for human consumption, to steal a line from a boyfriend, Jesse.
So outside in the hallway, by the way, right in Teal'c's eyesight, by the way, he can hear you and see you.
Yeah.
Jack and Daniel continue. Daniel thinks that Teal'c was really looking for someone to instill some confidence in him, to believe in him. And Jack's like, no, he wasn't.
No, Pollyanna. That's not what everybody needs all the time.
If Teal'c feels like he's lost his mojo, no one's going to fix that for him.
Yeah. That's a great thing to understand, too. Sometimes you don't want to hear the positive voice.
Exactly.
You're like, look, sometimes I just need to feel that I'm being heard.
Exactly.
That's all.
And, I got to get through this thing together.
Just lean into it.
Yeah.
I just need to lean into it and move through it.
So I was trying to find some Disney reference there, and I just wasn't finding it in that moment. So Daniel is...
When will my reflect... No, that might work. He's Mulan now. The end.
I was Mulan. I was trying to make a Moana one, but Moana, no one found their own thing in that. So I was trying to move past that.
Sure.
And trying to... It failed in the moments.
Okay. We tried.
So Daniel was trying to get Teal'c to meditate instead of Kelna reaming. Can we... The candle level is getting ridiculous.
It is getting insane. It is a Catholic church up in here. It is the Vatican.
This is you're in a goddamn mountain. This shit is a fire hazard.
And there's a lot of unstable substances down there that are very flammable, I'm sure.
And then, at one point later, Daniel just kind of sticks his leg out, and I was like, don't move.
Whoa.
Don't move.
Whoa. Yeah.
You are going to knock shit over.
It's a Boys to Men music video up in that place. All that's missing is a couple rose petals.
And billowing curtains in the back.
Yeah, it's bad times. This is a great little funny scene, though, considering the episode.
It is.
The long-winded, shut up, Daniel.
Shut up, Wesley. Yeah, the one thing required above all other things, silence.
I love that.
This is, I'm going to be 100% honest. This is probably the main reason why I've always had a hard time trying to learn how to meditate.
You gotta keep quiet.
I can't keep quiet, guys. That's not a thing I can do.
Yeah.
I talk to myself when it gets too quiet.
I love it quiet.
It's not good. So while they meditate, Daniel hears the voices again. And this time there's a vision to go along with it. It is a Jaffa labor camp with both Braytek and Ryak there. Ryak falls, he's flogged, and when Braytek's leave the kid the fuck alone, he gets flogged instead, but he doesn't even flinch because he is the OG badass.
He's like, I'm Braytek, motherfucker. Come at me.
Come get me.
Yeah.
And Ryak yells on. So Daniel snaps to in the flame room, and... By the way, commercial cut there in the middle.
Yeah, sure.
But
random spot, yeah.
When we come back a few minutes later, it's like Daniel has a headache from vision-tude. Also, just, again, don't make candles fall over. Yeah. He saw both Braytech and Ryak.
Maybe the headache is just from all that wax. Maybe they're all scented candles.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
And he's just like, oh god, the smell.
Can you imagine the smell when they're all extinguished?
Yeah.
Like the smell of one candle is enough.
Nobody fart in that room.
Like just the smoke that would happen when you blow that many candles.
You're gonna set off every fire alarm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're done.
So Teal'c is like, you remember the ambush at Kreshtar? And Daniel's like, well, I read the report.
That's a great album. Yeah, it's one of my favorites.
That's the one where over 100 warriors died except for you and Braytech. Mm-hmm. Well, there's a thing that Teal'c didn't put in that report.
Yeah.
It was that as Teal'c lay close to death, Daniel appeared to him in a dream. And once he was healed, he came back again, and then he stayed with Teal'c. And like in Teal'c's own way, he's basically like, you have no idea how much that meant to me.
Yeah.
You don't know how much strength that gave me.
That's a big confession.
Like, there's a good chance the only reason I'm alive is because you were there to give me the strength.
Yeah.
And it's also why he completely, without doubt, believes Daniel concerning Ryak and where they are.
Yikes.
But what surprises Daniel even more is that Hammond's like, listen, the shit that I've heard while sitting in this chair, I have no doubts about you whatsoever.
Yeah, his threshold for crazy, for just outlandish, strange things is so high now.
He's like, look, last time there was like a mini Jack. Like after that,
they were like, look, there's this magical, school in England, and one of the teachers had a bad guy growing out of the back of his head. He'd be like, yeah, that sounds about right. Was it a gold?
Okay.
Yeah, that's my Harry Potter reference for the day.
There's another school. In like New England.
Massachusetts.
Yeah, and there's this guy in a wheelchair. And just strange shit happens there.
Yeah, it's just weird stuff.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've seen him on a spaceship too. So we're gonna see him again on the spaceship. Patrick Stewart's coming back as Picard.
I like it.
Okay, so I've completely lost where I was because I was distracted about Picard coming back. Sam points out that
they're talking to Hammond.
Yes, that all of this happened before Daniel descended. And if the timeline works out that Braytech's Rotonin would be gone by now.
Oh, yeah. There's a discovery there.
Yeah, we now have a ticking clock on the corner of the screen, essentially. And Daniel's been looking at gate records, thinking that maybe he was looking for a location, but so far he hasn't really found anything. And so they're going to contact Ragnar. They're going to dial him up, text him, and see if he can come help.
They're just going to quick instant message him and be like, hey, dude,
yo,
do you know about this place?
So on that labor camp planet, Ryak and Braytech have been there for a long time.
Yeah.
And it is not pretty.
Yeah.
Braytech is growing weaker and weaker by the day, and it really hurts. It hurts our souls to see Braytech looking his age for the first time.
He looks aged. He looks, the way he's trying to get Rotonin out of, he looks so desperate.
Yeah.
It's very desperate. And it's
hard.
Anything he can do to keep himself strong, and his will is so strong.
And you can also tell he's keeping himself strong. He's keeping this face up for Ryak.
Oh yeah,
like if Ryak wasn't there,
the strength of character in that man.
Yes.
Not that we ever had any doubt, but my God,
I know
you're literally dying.
Yeah,
and you're holding your shit together because there's this kid here with you.
Keep your shit together.
Yeah.
So naturally, in a place like this, they have no issues with public executions.
Right.
And Ryak fears that they're going to be next because Braytech's Rotonin's so low. Braytech is pretty sure he can rash it out long enough. But the murder pisses him off real good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So back in Daniel's office, Ryak is there, recognizing some sketches Daniel made.
Yeah.
Which,
Ragnar.
listen, what did I say?
Ryak.
Oh, Ragnar.
That's okay.
Yeah. Daniel sketches, not bad.
Pretty fucking nice.
Not bad at all.
Yeah.
You can tell this is a man who's been sketching hieroglyphs and stuff that he's seen.
Like I imagine if Daniel got stuck back in time, he would be like sketching animals.
Yeah.
Or like being like one of those medical sketcher guys.
I can see that.
And being the guy who did that stuff.
Or just still archaeology.
That's fair. I mean, you could sketch locations and look for the 7 wonders of the world.
Yeah. He'd be an adventurer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. That's why I like Daniel. He's an adventurer.
But Ragnar recognizes it as Ibris. And Dana knows Ibris as a place where the condemned souls pass as soon as they die. But Ragnar says that this one is basically his Teal'c assembly line, and Jaffa's slave labor is used because of the harsh conditions. But
they're breaking rocks in the hot sun.
They are.
They fought the law and the law. I'm done.
And even here, Jaffa don't last long. Because that's how shitty it is.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to serve the new master when you're taken, then
that's what you do.
Boom! New slaves to build ships.
Yeah.
So if they were near,
God, what do you do at that point? Because it's like your option is slave or kill yourself.
Cake or death.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and these people are not one who's going to. To be fair, if they're going to commit suicide, they're going to try to like take out as many of the other guards.
They're not going to go out
without a fight,
without some sort of purpose.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if they were near the camp when Baal took the planet, then they were trapped. And Ragnar says then at that point they're lost because the Stargate on that planet is impenetrable. They have a force field iris.
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted.
It's like there's just a little Barney Stinson in the corner.
There is.
Yeah.
Barney Stinson would not last long.
Also because the word impenetrable showed up.
Exactly.
He'd be like, yes, I will penetrate the impenetrable.
Can I just say, I would love to see what would happen if Barney tried to hit on Sam?
She would kick him across the room.
In a way that somehow Barney did not enjoy.
But this still would be turned on by it.
Hell, of course he would be. Spent all weekend watching How I Met Your Mother. Yes, he would be. But it would be still a lot of fun to watch. Yeah. And we see Daniel's flash to Braytac and Ryak and some others overtaking guards at a Stargate. They dial up a planet. They get the shield turned off because Braytac steals the little shield button off when the Jaffa is taken out. And they're about to head through the Stargate, but suddenly they are surrounded.
Damn it.
And Braytac, you can see, presses a few buttons secretly on the remote.
Yes.
As he passes Daniel standing there in a cloak watching.
Yeah. Daniel gets the digits. And
then in the current time, Daniel just runs out of the room.
Yeah. I had the digits. I'm surprised I would be so scared to lose that.
Yeah.
That I would write everything immediately down.
Well, but he doesn't have the digits yet.
That's true.
He just realizes what happened.
Yeah.
He realized he was looking in the wrong place.
Fair.
Apparently, the address that Braytac dialed up was the Alpha site, which I'm not even going to comment on him just dialing up the Alpha site on some, hostile world where anyone can see.
That's a safe thing to do.
Super not. So Sam has joined them in the control room, and they're checking the records of the Alpha site. So Daniel was so focused on the Earthgate, he never thought of checking there.
Right. And
sure enough, there it is. I tried to read more of the information on the screen, but I couldn't see headers to see what some of the first numbers meant.
I'm surprised you found anything. I'm not looking.
But they did receive it 3 months ago, but they didn't know what it is. They analyzed it. They couldn't figure it out. It's the code for deactivating the force field.
Oh.
So Sam can recreate the signal. Daniel can provide the intel. Mission is a go.
Let's do this. If we all work together.
Go, Stargate Rangers.
Yeah, they got to build the Megazord.
So in the gate room, in his Jaffa getup, Teal'c is again like, I may be a liability. And Jack is like,
God,
shut
stop
up.
Feeling sorry for yourself. Yeah.
Teal'c's like, if I die, I want you to watch over Ryak. And Daniel and Jack, they don't eye roll at each other, but they're like, okay.
Yeah. Okay, drama queen.
Although Jack is like, look, I get it. It's a son thing,
Yeah.
I get it.
I think they just don't want him in that mindset.
No, they don't at all. So Sam sends a signal. Ragnar sends his grenade, takes out the first of the guards, and SG-1 and 3, and I'm sure a couple others.
Just
there's a lot of them.
badassery scene here. Like it's just like I want that poster on my wall. You know what I mean? They're just all in front of that gate, and it's like you do this thing, and then you do this other thing, and we're all badass.
There's a later still frame I want as a poster.
Yes. Okay.
So far, so good, and they secure the gate. So camp is miserable.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just Ryak's writing home.
Yeah.
You know, dear Teal'c.
Yeah.
Today at camp,
yeah,
I didn't get in the canoe.
Yeah.
Because there's no canoe.
Also, I hate this.
Because I'm on a shit planet.
And also, I'm a prisoner. I'm dying.
I just really want a canoe. So Teal'c is officially out of Tritonin. And Ryak brings in some snark. But Teal'c in the end is like, look, if I die, then you have to live because my words need to carry on.
Yeah.
And I'm also not giving up yet because he's like, well, how long can you survive without Tritonin? Teal'c's like, as long as I need to.
That's the best answer ever. Best answer ever.
It's
as long as it freaking takes.
As long as it takes, I will survive.
Yeah.
I was trying not to sing the song.
I'm sorry, I had to do it.
But then it was in my head. Because as long as I know how to love.
You will survive. But there's something, it's so bittersweet to hear Teal'c because the writing's on the wall. He's going to die. And that's what Ryak sees. And he's like, fuck, this man's going to die, but he just won't give up.
And
it's almost like just tugs even more at your heart. But God, what a badass.
It's teaching Ryak one last lesson.
Yeah. Yeah.
So up in the hill crest, first of all, there's a guy named Penhall, which, if you didn't catch it, is a reference to 21 Jump Street.
I did not catch it.
That is Peter DeLuise's character in 21 Jump Street.
Nice.
So it's like a ish cameo. Callback. So they decide that infiltration is the best. They're going to take out a few guards, create a blind spot, but they're going to have to wait for an hour or two till dark to get that done. So at night, Sam zats one of the guards. Ragnar and Teal'c sneak in. Daniel has a fancy listening device to listen to afar. Blonde, like, Jaffa dude is dressing, the one who killed people earlier.
Yeah, the weirdest looking dude. Yeah, he looks like every supervillain ever.
Mm-hmm. He's dressing down one of the Jaffa, and we get some great Daniel translations here.
It's fun. Where he's like, I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
And we do get it for crying out loud.
The quietest for crying out loud that's ever
We get 2 Indeeds and a for crying out loud in one episode.
Pretty great.
So
it's an embarrassment of riches.
So suddenly the blonde Jaffa starts talking to where our guys are and like starts heading there. And there's fear that they've been made.
Yeah.
So inside the tent, it's a reunion.
Dun, dun, dun.
Teal'c shares some of his Tritonin. Please have some, Teal'c.
Please don't die.
How much do you need?
Yeah.
Can we just give you extra? Can we make up for it?
Yeah.
But Teal'c is so weak that he's not going to be able to walk out, and they don't have time for it to kick in. So they're like, we'll carry him out.
Yeah.
What about everyone else, though? Because there's a whole bunch of them in this tent.
That's true.
And
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ragnar's like, there's too many for us to save.
Fuck.
And Ryak's like, they can fight. And Teal'c goes, then they will die.
Shit.
And then Ryak goes, yeah, but if they stay, they're going to die.
They're going to die either way. Let them die at their own.
At least let them die as Jaffa.
Yeah.
So Jack tries to radio to Teal'c that they've been made, but it is too late. Jack tells everyone to hold their fire as Teal'c and Ragnar are let out on yokes. And outside the tents they gather, and you can just hear the torture.
Mm-hmm.
And you can only hear the torture at first because Teal'c is silent. But at some point, Teal'c was no longer silent.
Ooh.
And on the ridge, Sam joins them, and all they can do is sit there and watch and listen until they can find another way in.
It's going to be hard enough to hold. Just in general.
Yeah.
Even if nothing different is happening.
Yeah.
But to hold while you're hearing people get tortured.
Hearing your
holy shit.
Friend family.
Yeah. Like to the point where as I'm watching the episode, I kind of had to tune out a little bit. Be like, come back to me when you guys are doing something.
Yeah. Jack is clearly as pissed as you'd expect him to be because they can't do it. They're so outnumbered that they can't do anything until they have a plan.
The frustration is fucking awful.
So morning comes and they drag a barely conscious Teal'c and Ragnar into the tent. But there is a different kind of trouble brewing in River City. If they can't get up and work, Ryak points out that you're going to get killed. Because if you can't work, you're killed. And fear not, Teal'c says, they did not come alone. Rescue is on its way.
Don't lose your faith, dude. Yeah. This really is an episode about Ryak. Yeah. About Ryak learning things.
Yes.
More than anything else.
I can imagine that Ryak learned more in these 3 months in a prison camp.
Yeah, than anything.
It's like a really shitty college education.
Well, it's like, okay, so you're old enough to be a man now and you're brave and you're strong, but let me tell you what else it takes to be a grown-ass person. It takes this type of conviction.
Exactly. Yeah. So there are so many people now on this goddamn ridge that they're not stealth at this point. The only thing keeping them from being known is Jaffa arrogance.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I'm telling you, it's a great feat.
One search patrol went out towards the gate, and Daniel blames himself now that he didn't do something when he had the chance. Oh
God, another one blaming himself.
So Jack reminds him that wouldn't have worked out. Duh.
And this again is another thing of trying to come to terms with being humanish. And it's like, maybe if I wasn't who I am now, I could be better than what I am. But it's like, all you are is what you are.
And you also have to remember, here at this point when he's like, if only I'd done something when I was ascended, Daniel doesn't remember anything from when he's ascended. You don't
actually know that you didn't do something when you were ascended.
He doesn't know that he didn't do something, but he also doesn't remember. He's probably been told, but he doesn't remember how restricted he was in terms of interfering.
Yeah. But again, I don't even think that's what it's about. It's just about this idea of like, what good am I for?
It is.
Yeah.
That is
you're right.
But he doesn't remember the rules that Oma and the followers had.
Yep.
So time for plan B. Seems like we have a plan B.
You always have to have a plan B.
No, but it's time to come up with a plan B.
You should always have a plan B in all of your life, every time, forever.
Well, they need a distraction.
That's fair.
So grenades?
Grenades.
Bigger. Claymores? Bigger. Everyone come back with me to Wormhole Extreme. Mr. Deloise.
Bigger.
I guarantee you that's why it's here. And Jack just looks up to the ships above him.
Yeah.
And this gets to the point that's consistent with both Teal'c and Daniel. Both are feeling guilt that they shouldn't feel for things that they can't control. But it doesn't take long for Sam and Daniel to be up on that ship. And they start stealthing.
Yep.
The rest of the group down below is setting plans in motion and getting things going and setting up weapons. And
you do what you got to do. At this point, we're just building up to the action.
Yes, and the action that we get. In the camp, Braytek is getting stronger. Ragnar is doing better than Teal'c. I think Teal'c got much worse of a beating, but also Ragnar still is junior.
Right.
Him and Ryak are going to spread the word, which also probably just makes Teal'c feel even worse because
he's useless.
To
some degree.
Him and Ragnar may have gotten the same amount of beating, but he doesn't have a junior no more.
Yeah. And he's not the guy, like that's not his role anymore.
Yeah.
His role's his role's changing.
The time has come that these prisoners must fight for their freedom. In terms of fighting, Teal'c says that he's not the Jaffa that he once was, which Ryak's like, oh, fuck you, you're fine.
Yeah.
Braytek looks down, listening, taking this conversation in. And Teal'c is, no, I'm weak. You have to survive, though.
Yeah.
Or I came here for nothing.
You come to tell our story.
Yes. Who lives? Who dies? Who tells a story? Hamilton reference.
Always.
Which, question, if they're here, it's just Jaffa in the tent. Are they speaking Gold? And are we just seeing English? Or are they speaking in English?
Here's what I think. You have the option to speak English.
Yes.
Why not do that around the Gold?
Here's the reason I asked this specifically is because I feel like this changes the conversation that he had with Ryak.
Okay.
Because at one point he's like, I'm weak. No, I'm weak. If they're speaking in
then
gold,
he's saying I'm dead.
I am Keck. I am dead.
Right.
So that's the thing. If he's talking English, then he clearly said I am weak. But if they're speaking Gould, like, you know, if the monks Jaffa were speaking Gould, then he basically said, no, I'm dead. And so you have to survive.
It changes, right?
It does. Which is why, like, which language are they speaking?
It's a solid point.
Yeah.
Solid point. I for me, it's for practical reasons. I would imagine English just because they can. But I like your idea better.
So, meanwhile, Sam plants some C4 on the ship while Daniel watches her 6, and they're going to blow the anti-gravity platform so that the ship crashes into the planet. Mm-hmm. By the way, her saying that is just clearly for the audience because Daniel would already know that.
Yeah.
Moving on. So we get to one of my favorite scenes because no one could have this conversation with Teal'c except for Braytac, including Jack. Braytac is just like, you're not going to get rid of me yet. I will be ready to fight when this time comes.
Yeah.
Teal'c's like, no, I will too. Mm-hmm. Braytac's like, really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're going to go all Gimli and Legolas when the time comes.
Totally.
And be like, 42!
And Braytac's like, the Tritona must be fucking with your memory. Because you seem to have forgotten what I've taught you, that a warrior's strength comes from his heart and his mind.
Yeah.
I mean, you have been stronger than me for decades now, but I've never lost a sparring match.
That's fair.
And I love Teal'c with a grin.
Yeah.
Is like, I've been letting you win, old man. And that spark that Braytac was looking for is back.
Thank God. That's what he needed.
And Braytac gets up, leaving Teal'c, and we almost get Star Warsy music here. There's a couple notes that can really be Star Warsy.
Yeah.
So Sam and Daniel are trying to get off the ship in a hurry because the timer is set with less than 5 minutes to go, but there's a whole bunch of Jaffa right near the ring. Just march right in. Yep.
They're always the ones in the tight spot.
I know. It's because they can get out of the tight spot.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Ryak is trying to spread the word, and he's caught being in a place that he shouldn't be. So their favorite punishment around these parts, death. Ryak faces his possible death like the stubborn, righteous youth that he is.
Good.
Go him.
Yeah.
Badass. Little tiny young badass. But Teal'c's daddy's spidey senses went off before this and is like, my kid's in trouble.
Yeah. I think he's got to volunteer as tribute.
Yeah. So he comes out and he volunteers for tribute, which is a great trade for this asshole Jaffa. He's like, look, Ryak's young and will work for a while still.
Yeah, way to put it into terms that the guy will understand.
You can barely stand, dude.
Yeah.
This is great. It's great.
Yep, we'll take it. Yeah.
So
I
Jack
get to kill someone and I get to keep a worker.
Exactly. Jack radios in to Sam and Daniel, 30 seconds till it blows. Mm-hmm. But A, Sam and Daniel are still on the ship that's about to crash, and B, Teal'c may not have 30 seconds.
Yeah, we're getting it real close to a Teal'c execution, and we do not have a time turner to save Buckbeak.
No.
So it is time to get the shit together.
So asshole Blanchefort is like, look at you. Uh-huh. You were the first prime of Apophis, and now you're just like a weak.
Thank God the villain always needs to take some time to just talk shit.
It works perfectly every time.
Let's do this. Yeah. Let's talk all the shit you want. It'll buy me some time.
Mm-hmm. Ryak tries to turn away, but Braytac's like, no. You need to be strong for Teal'c because there is no better way to die than to look on the face of his son.
What a fucking lesson.
And Ryak was braver facing death himself than he is with his father facing death.
Yeah.
So just then, gravity field blows, which causes Jaffa around the ring platform to run.
Yeah.
So Sam and Daniel escape, and as the ship falls, all hell breaks loose.
It's fight time.
And the Earth forces open fire.
Yeah.
And Braytac announces, it is time! And all the Jaffa prisoners just start taking out their captors.
Yeah.
Braytac is just...
The uprising is here.
A badass as always. Yeah. And there is some gorgeous fight choreography in here.
It's fun. Yeah. There's not a lot of story to tell here. It's just a lot of fighting, but it's fun fighting.
But it's some great fighting.
Yeah.
It is the type of fighting that you know, and like the explosions... This was a lot of fun. This was a pain in the ass to film for them, but this was a lot of fun to film. Yeah. There's some really smooth moves with some staffs in there too.
Yeah.
So the ship crashes.
Notes are taken.
Yeah.
Notes have been taken. Yeah.
The ship crashes to the ground, and Jack tells his men to have at it, boys.
Yeah.
But you can tell they're being very careful because they don't want to shoot the wrong Jaffa.
Right, and it's hard to tell when you don't know the difference.
The ones that are totally covered in grime are good guys.
Yeah.
The ones that are cleaner are the bad guys.
Yeah. It's a tough one.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
So Ryak helps his dad against the whole blonde Jaffa, but he's just thrown aside really easily.
Okay.
And Teal'c snaps in a good way.
He's done.
And he is just tackles. That football training of Chris Judge's comes in handy because he just tackles him. And Ragnar is taking aim with a staff weapon, and Ryak's like, no.
That's my dad's kill. They're lions now. It's like, that's his kill.
And he can tell Teal'c needs to do this by himself.
Yeah.
And he does. Teal'c just snaps his neck in the end.
Mm-hmm.
And Ryak throws him a staff weapon, and Teal'c just grabs out of the air and let's do this. I mean, if this was a shotgun, he would have like cocked it in one hand.
Yeah. He's just grabbed the sword of Excalibur.
He has.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh look, Teal'c's back.
Yeah. Ah, everything's fine. Just kidding.
And then we get the poster that I want.
Yeah.
This shot of Ragnar, Teal'c, and Braytek all lined up with their staffs, weapons, all firing together to a white screen.
Yeah.
And we don't need to see the end of the battle. We know what happens. Yeah. But we come back on the other side of the gate, back at the SGC. Braytek is already there being tended to by Janet. Ragnar and Ryak support Teal'c through the gate. Right. Because he's in some pain.
Yeah, a little bit.
The adrenaline's worn off.
He can finally be like, okay, guys, now I'm a little bit hurt.
I need to sit down, guys.
Yeah. I don't feel real good.
Since I've lost Junior, I've discovered this great thing called morphine. Yeah. And I would like some of that.
All of it. Lots of that.
I'm a big dude.
Yeah.
Need a lot of morphine. Mm-hmm. And so the camp has been liberated. All the ex-prisoners are there at the Alpha site, anxious to join the rebellion. And Braytek goes, look, my mission took a little bit longer than needed, but it's a success.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he tells Hammond of Texas that he's in his debt once again.
Oh, yeah.
But this is Daniel's doing, Hammond says. He gives Daniel the credit.
Again, we can't forget that the only one that Teal'c is not the only one coming to terms with who he is now. So we bring it back to a little bit of Daniel. And
Teal'c agrees with his second indeed. And Daniel's like, aw, shucks. Yeah. I mean, but he still, you can tell, can't get it out.
He's still working
through things.
Yeah.
Sometimes later, at some point after he's healed, healed-ish.
Yeah.
Teal'c is fully embracing meditation over Kelna reaming at this point. Yeah. And apparently, Jack has told him he has his mojo back. And this is where we get the good one. So Daniel thanks him as well, because he didn't used to think that he belonged anywhere. Mm-hmm. And he was really hoping that his ascension would change that.
Right.
That he'd find this place.
I'm going to be in this club of the ascended, and then that's what it would be.
But he's discovered the sacrifices were too great, and his life here is too important.
Yeah.
And he's finally seeing clearly for the first time that he is a part of something important.
Yeah.
And Teal'c agrees, and we fade out on a fire hazard. Yeah. But I get it. Daniel lost his family when he was so young.
Yeah.
And he was moving around constantly. He never stayed in one place at the same time. And even though he had his grandfather, like, that's not this strong family core.
He didn't have I don't know what he didn't have this stable space that was like, I am 100% part of this thing.
Because as much as his grandfather no doubt loved him, obviously, you get the feeling that Daniel was not the first thing on his mind all the time.
Right.
So he had people here and there like Sarah and things like this. But by the time he went through the gate for the first time, he had such a hard shell built up as a defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Because he never stayed in one place, he didn't have this core people.
If you've never had something like a family, you can't recognize it right away. And
even he had family on Abydos, but it was for a year. and it was taken.
Again, so there's no definition of what that needs to be or should be or how it is. Yeah.
So, to me, as much as he's thinking about his actionable work, his work at the SGC, his work, helping with the Jaffa and doing all this research and his sort of a job.
Yeah.
He's talking about his family just as much.
Yeah.
He's talking about Jack and Sam and Teal'c and Hammond and even Braytac.
Yeah.
Like, this is his family and this is his home and this is the first time that he's realized that, and it's such this monumental thing. It took this monumental thing of ascending.
Yeah.
And realizing that he lost all that.
Yeah.
And he had that.
It's such a real thing to there are sometimes things we want, whether it's a relationship, a family, or something to care, whatever it is.
Yeah.
There's something that you're always looking for, the perfect job, the perfect life, the perfect body, whatever it is. And you're so caught up in what this should be that you don't see the things right in front of your face. Yeah. And that's kind of what happened. And he's like, it's got to be bigger. It's got to be better than this. It's got to be this. Sometimes the hardest thing to do is just to get out of your own way. Yeah. And see it. Yep.
And it took him dying and ascending
to see
him to see it.
Yeah.
And then on Teal'c's side, he is now, I think, through what happened this episode and through him getting to his lowest point, it's not like a cliche to say, he found what his actual strength inside of him is.
Right. Again, he had this idea of who he's supposed to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not in the fact that things do change.
Yeah.
He's just as strong as he was.
Mm-hmm.
He's just as stubborn as he was.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that he's just a little more breakable.
It's this idea of we place our identity on sometimes the things that aren't actually what we are.
Exactly.
It's what we think we are.
Yeah.
Or labels that we place on ourselves, and then we think those are our identity.
Yeah.
That's pretty deep. Yeah.
I know.
That's good stuff.
I got way too deep in this episode.
My
brain hurts.
Yeah. Let's take one last drink and call it a night.
Yeah. So next up is revisions.
Okay.
Which I will say this. We haven't had it in a while. I won't say what this is about, but this is just old school Planet of the Week goodness.
Like it.
Just
I dig it.
Happy.
You're right. We've been due.
It is.
We're due.
It's just good Planet of the Week Stargate happiness.
Let's do it. Okay, guys.
Yes.
Thanks for sticking through with us. Thanks for letting us go a little deep on the study. You know where to find us on Twitter. We're at Terra Podcast.
We're on Facebook. There's no place like Terra.
We are at Facebook. You can email us at there's no place like Terra @gmail.com.
You can find us at patreon.com/there's no place like Terra.
We love you guys. We'll see you next week with Revision.
Rate us, like us, review us on Apple Podcasts.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Yeah.